Cocoa Beach is your ultimate Florida beach vacation. Pack your bags and open your mind. Adventure is calling from Orlando's closest beach. Cocoa Beach is Florida's secret gem that's got it all. It's the budget-friendly, retro-cool destination that families and surfers adore. Come soak up the sun and ride the East Coast's most famous waves. Start planning your one-of-a-kind getaway now at visitspacecoast.com. That's visitspacecoast.com.
Hello.
Hi, John.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, hi, I'm David from Red Hat and Heavy. I'm calling you from Spain, from Madrid. How are you? Everything's okay?
I'm all right, buddy. How are you today?
Very good. Here waiting to talk to you and listening the DAISIES album. So very good. Very happy.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, let's talk about the. Well, first you are doing interviews all the day, I guess, and this one is maybe the last one or something. So I'm going to try to not repeat the questions or something.
No, actually, you're my first.
You're in the first.
A few more after you, so ask away.
Okay, okay, great. Okay, let's begin talking about the new album, the DAISIES album, the fourth one. So, well, it's a new rock and roll masterpiece. It's very good to listen nowadays. Such a great rock and roll album. It's not easy to listen new bands. I'm talking in general, new bands, of course. Listening like you, very strong, very muscle music to say something, and very classic and bluesy at the same time. So, well, what do you want to say to begin about the new album?
Well, I think it's obviously a little more aggressive than anything we've done in the past.
Yes, I agree.
And I think lyrically, it's very introspective, and also, there's a lot of topics in the record about things that are going on in the news every day.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes,
I think it's lyrically, it's a lot of things about the current state of the world, but we're very proud of it. We love the record. We're very excited to get back to rehearsal and start rehearsing to go on tour now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You told me about the lyrics, that in this album they are more introspective and these kind of things. You are writing the lyrics, all the lyrics, or how are the things in that DAISIES talking about music and lyrics?
Now, usually I write the lyrics, but
mm-hmm.
sometimes, sometimes I get into a pinch and I can't think of, something, and the other guys are very helpful,
mm-hmm.
So
yes.
There's been times where I didn't have a song title and somebody would offer, an idea for a song title, or
yes.
If I couldn't write anymore in the verse, someone would come in with a line or a word or something,
mm-hmm. Yes.
So everything that we do musically and lyrically, it's all very much done together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good thing.
Okay, great. And well, the album is called Burn It Down, and very specific title, very strong title. And well, tell me about this. How about the concept or the idea behind the title, and how to call it the album Burn It Down?
Well, there's a song on the record
yes.
called Burn It Down.
Mm-hmm.
And overall,
mm-hmm.
it's kind of about, people that complain about things, or they complain about their life
mm-hmm.
over and over and over and over again, but
yes.
they don't do anything about it. They're afraid to make change.
Mm-hmm.
So, for us, like there's a line in the song where it says, you've got these problems, but the outcome is always the same,
mm-hmm.
and it's never going to change unless you burn it down and start
mm-hmm.
over.
Yes.
So it's just about in some, each record is a new, it's a new record. It's a new start. It's a new beginning.
Yes.
So for us, it's about burning things down and rebuilding and starting over again.
It's a curiosity for me, talking about to begin again to say something that, well, the DAISIES started like a project or like a super group, super band, whatever we want to call it, and with the years you have evolved to a normal band, to a total rock and roll band, to say something. What do you want to say about this process since the super group on the beginning until the actual state of the band?
Well, I think, to be honest with you, the band was started by David, our guitar player.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I think at the end of the day, he's always kind of wanted a band, a core.
Mm-hmm.
And he started originally with a very famous singer in Australia. And they wrote a bunch of songs, and they went into the studio with, session musicians, and then tried to put a band together to go out on tour. And sometimes things just don't work. Some people change and they go in a different direction. And
yes.
And I think David, he's been gradually working towards having a core band that is going to write together, record together, and grow together. And I think, nobody knows what tomorrow's going to bring, but I think at this point right now we can say that we've actually got a set band, and we're ready to keep moving forward.
Yes, continue with this idea. Of course, after David started the band with another people in Australia, when you started as the DAISIES, I mean, with all the members of Guns N' Roses, Whitesnake, with you, of course, when you started as a super group, as I told. It's funny that you started with members of Guns N' Roses, Whitesnake. You were in MÖTLEY CRÜE, for example, as the very more known name, to say something. And how was for you when the people listened to the band but maybe thinking in another bands, in Guns N' Roses, in Whitesnake? How was for you to obtain, to gain, recognize all the merits, all the credits for the band? You know what I mean?
Honestly, that's a very good question, but if I can, we don't really think about it. At the end of the day, when I first joined the band, the lineup was Brian, David, Marco, Dizzy, Reed, and Richard. When I joined, we did a great record. We were touring, like everything was going great. We all got along with each other, but we had no idea that Guns N' Roses was going to call and say, hey, we're doing a reunion tour. Dizzy and Richard, can you come back? We didn't know this. Now, we Doug Aldrich came in, we decided to keep moving forward. Doug Aldrich came in. I think we did another great record with Make Some Noise, and then we went on tour again, and we recorded some shows, and we put out Live and Louder, but it just came a point, one of the, I guess, there's a blessing and a curse. The blessing is that the musicians that I play with, Doug Aldrich, Marco Mendoza, now Dean Castronovo, but before it was Brian Tichy. The good thing is, the blessing is that they're all such accomplished musicians and such great players that, writing records and recording records is, I don't want to say easy for us, but the level of talent makes it easier. But it's also a curse because everybody sees Marco and guys like Doug and Brian or Dean. They see how great they are in the studio, and everybody wants them to come and do shows with them or record some things with them.
Yes.
So, the situation with Brian has been wanting to do a solo record for a very long time. He's last year, for example, Brian did some shows with Steven Tyler.
Oh, good.
He did some shows with Don Felder from the Eagles. Now this year he looked at his schedule and he's going out with Foreigner, but they're not doing like when the Daisies go out, we're going to go out for the better part of a year. And I think with Brian doing Foreigner, it was going to be it's a run, but it's not as long as it would be with the Daisies, which will allow him to go out, play his drums, and then come home and work on his solo record, which is what he ultimately wanted to do. So once again, we made a phone call to a very good friend of ours, Dean Castanovo, and he came in, and he did an unbelievable job on the drums on Burn It Down.
Yes.
And even with the backing vocals, I'm very excited because Dean not only is an amazing drummer, but he's an amazing singer as well.
Okay, I didn't know.
So the backing vocals are going to be insane. So I'm looking forward to, the new tour. The reviews that we're getting on the new record is amazing. So you know what? We're just moving forward. We're enjoying the journey. And we're just moving forward.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit more about the album. Let's come back to the album, okay? Burn It Down. And well, as I told you on the beginning of the interview, the album is even more Dead Daisies. Is stronger. Is more personal. Is more original in my opinion. But at the same time, it's more classic and more bluesy. Even more country, with more countryside flavor in some moments to say something. It's more of everything, and it's fantastic. It was your idea when you were composing or starting the new album, or it was just a casualty to say something?
No, actually, honestly, we don't really have a plan when we're doing the records. We just kind of get together, and we don't really. It's funny, when we go into the studio to write, we don't have any songs. We always kind of go in with a clean slate, and everybody just starts putting riff ideas down, and we just write. And then it's weird, like we'll kind of get into a groove, or it's weird. Somebody will write a song, or we'll all write a song, which kind of dictates what direction the record's going to go in. And I think the two songs that really kind of dictated the direction of the album was what goes around comes around, and Rise Up. And once we had those two songs, we were all so excited about it that the album just kind of went in that direction. Like you said, it's a little more aggressive. It's a little heavier, but it's still got melody, but it's not heavy. It's like old classic Sabbath heavy.
Yes, you know what I mean? This is the point. Yes, I agree.
So yeah, and it's just we just kind of write, and suddenly a song will come that we all work on that we go, oh man, this is awesome, and then the record just kind of follows that direction, and that's what we did this time.
And for example, listening the whole album, just to say, it's difficult to choose just one song, but for example, my favorite is Beach. Which one is your favorite song, or which one is your one or two songs that is more remarkable in your opinion?
I think for me, lyrically, they're all great songs, but I think lyrically, the one that really kind of, for me, says something that means the most to me is Resurrected. Resurrected for me, and even a guy like Dean, for me, when I was in Mötley Crüe, everybody was like, patting me on the back and telling me how great things were, and and then when I lost that gig, everything was lost. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think a lot of people in the music industry kind of wrote me off and said, well, he's done. That was it. That was his big chance. And it's the same for Dean. Dean, a couple of years ago, had some troubles.
Yes,
and
I know.
he had a little bit of a dark period, and you know, he's had a bullseye on his back for the last couple of years. And I think a lot of people kind of said Dean's done. And this is just, you know, I wrote the lyrics, you know, for this with that in mind. You know, it's like, no, we're not done, and we're not going anywhere. We're still here, we're still having fun, and we're still kicking ass. So.
Yes, this is the point, and it's interesting because it's interesting that you were telling me this, because I had a question exactly about this, like that the DAISIES for you is like the great opportunity again after all the things around Mötley Crüe, because you were in Union, you were doing some things, your solo stuff, but of course, as you said very well, when Mötley Crüe finish your things with you, or you finish your things with Mötley Crüe, was a difficult moment for you, for your career, whatever we want to say. And now is the opportunity, or now is the moment to say, okay, John Corabi is here and he's doing really well.
And the thing, you know, the thing of it is, not to sound weird, but you know, I've been playing music and doing what I love to do, traveling the world, playing music, having fun for 30 plus years now. And you know, it's very odd. You know, and who knows why it happened, but it's very odd to get an opportunity again, like the Dead Daisies. You know, this late in my career, it's a blessing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we're just having fun. You know, all of us have been. You know, I've been doing this for 30 plus years. Marco's been doing it for 30 years. Doug's been doing it for 25 or 30 years.
Yes.
You know, so we've all got a lot of time, and you know, and the fact that we've all met up at this point in our lives and put this band together, and we're writing the records that we do, and we're touring the way that we do. You know, it really truly is a blessing. You know, so we're all just very happy to be talking to people like yourself and going out and seeing the fans and just still being able to continue to do good records.
Yes, and the curiosity with this is that some people is discovering now that Mötley Crüe, the album, I mean, is not a bad album. It's an underestimated album. The people is discovering now and telling, okay, this album was very good. What happened with the scene, with the history, with whatever? Telling that the Mötley Crüe album with John Corabi is a shit. It's not a shit, and it's interesting also.
Well, you know it's funny. I'm in the Dead Daisies, but I also have a solo band as well. And my solo band, a couple years ago, we went out in 2014, and we did a bunch of shows in honor of the Mötley Crüe record. We played the whole record live in its entirety. And I recorded it, and I just put it out in like December and January, you know, this year. And oddly enough, it's a live album. It's all of the songs from the Mötley Crüe record in the order, you know, whatever, and it's all live. And I just got word from the record label. I haven't really been soliciting press or promoting it, but the record is actually charting again in the American Billboard magazines. So it's, you know what I always say, better late than never. You know what I mean? It's all good.
Yes, fantastic. Well, continue talking about the DAISIES. It's interesting to me, talking about this, that, well, of course, nowadays there are many bands doing good things, but there are not so many good bands, big bands, I mean, working really well. I'm talking about new bands in this sense, no? For example, we can talk about, I don't know, Blackstone Cherry, for example, Winery Dogs, Five Finger Death Punch in more metal way. I like, for example, Hardcore Superstars from Sweden, but there are not too much new bands working really well. Dead Daisies is one of those. Well, what do you think about this, and what happened with rock and roll nowadays?
I don't know. I do, you know, in all due respect, I do disagree a little bit. You know, there's a lot of great new bands out there.
Yes, of course.
You know,
but not big bands.
Blackberry Smoke. Yeah, Blackberry Smoke. There's, you know, Greta Van Fleet. There's Inglorious. There's
yes.
Rival Sons.
Raven Eye, Rival Sons. Yes.
Yeah, they're all great bands, you know. But the funny thing that I think is, all of these bands are making a lot of noise now. Especially Greta Van Fleet.
Yes.
Very young band.
Yes.
And
totally
Led
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, so there's all these bands right now, like Rival Sons, who, like, are very much, you know, they do some things that are very modern, but the riffs that they write are very classic, old school riffs. You know what I mean?
Yes. Sure.
So I think it's funny how all of these bands now are rising, are very much rising with a very classic sound. I love it. I think it's awesome.
Yes.
But I think that there's a lot of very cool new bands out there that are starting to make some noise and starting to rise to the top. It's pretty cool.
So now is the moment for them to rise at last.
Yep, rise up.
Okay, and well, just to go finishing the interview, let's talk a little bit about the next tour. You're going to start in Europe again, but unfortunately the Spanish dates in May they had to be cancelled or moving to another date or whatever. At last you're going to play just in Rock Fest in Barcelona in July. So well, tell me in general about what happened with the Spanish dates and about what do you want to say the new European tour in general.
Well, listen, I love coming over to Europe and seeing all our friends and fans over there. So I'm very excited about it. We're actually getting ready to start rehearsing and putting a great set together. You know, so I'm very much looking forward to the whole tour. I mean, we're doing Europe, UK. We're probably going to be over there a couple times this year. We're doing Japan, South America. We're pretty much touring the world, and it's going to be awesome. And as far as the Spanish dates, I think it was just I don't know what happened. I know that we had a couple of Spanish dates lined up, and we moved them, but I think it's because of the festival. I know they wanted us on the festival, and I think that there was one of those things where a lot of times, especially even here in America, if you play somewhere in America, you have to your next show or within a few months, you can't play anywhere near.
Yes, I understand what you.
There has to be a distance, and there has to be a time frame where you can't play again for 3 months or 4 months. So I think, you know,
maybe
they wanted us to do the festival. Yeah, I think they wanted us to do the festival, and it was a better opportunity for us to go out and play in front of more people. So I think they chose to do the festival, which meant that we had to postpone the other two club or theater shows.
Yes.
So we're definitely coming to Spain, but it'll be in a festival setting instead.
Yeah, and maybe on the second part of the year you're going to come back after the festivals, and well, I understand what you mean about the exclusivity and the time frame and those kind of things.
The business part of it.
Yes, promoters thing. Okay, great. Okay, and well, the first time that we show you here anyway was supporting Kiss, and was fantastic. Was a very good show supporting Kiss, but to see you in clubs the last time was even better because, well, I think you are a band for clubs, talking in the good way, of course. And in Madrid was sold out and was fantastic show. Well, what do you remember about the last tour in Spain that I think that you enjoyed a lot?
Listen, Spain is always loco. It's always great. It's always crazy. I love coming there. I've done many even acoustic shows that have been out of control.
Yeah.
So I love coming over there, and you know what? If maybe this time we play a festival, but I know later in the year we're coming back again in
sure.
October, November. We'll be back in Europe again. So maybe we'll do some club shows on that trip. But I'm just looking forward to coming back and playing. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, great. So, John, we're going to finish. So, thank you so much for this talk. It was a pleasure and fantastic album again. I'm totally in love with the band. So, I'm totally waiting for the show in the festival in Barcelona. I'm going to be there, and the next couple of dates later, whenever.
Okay, my friend. Well, hopefully, if you're at the show, come back and say hello.
Yes, of course, and to say, okay, it was me, the guy on the interview in Madrid. Well, many guys, I guess, this evening for you. Okay, John, so see you next time, okay?
Bye-bye.
See you in Barcelona. Bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cocoa Beach is your ultimate Florida beach vacation. Pack your bags and open your mind. Adventure is calling from Orlando's closest beach. Cocoa Beach is Florida's secret gem that's got it all. It's the budget-friendly, retro-cool destination that families and surfers adore. Come soak up the sun and ride the East Coast's most famous waves. Start planning your one-of-a-kind getaway now at visitspacecoast.com. That's visitspacecoast.com.